Alrighty, welcome back. I'm your man Bad Chad and Queen Jolene's on the camera. Today I'm going to show you how I put on fadeaways with a 1937 Chev hood. That's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to show you, try to do as much as I can, show you how I did it. This is just stuck on there right now. I just got it spotted on there, so with the way it looks. I finished off the bottom of the door so you can see what it looks like. And I'm going to explain the reason why I went for it and the reason why I think other people went for it. Basically, on this car, I really enjoy this side. I enjoy the pod on the side of the fender, or on the side of the door. I enjoy it. The reason I lean towards making the fadeaways is because, just like most people probably that started customizing cars, is because something was an issue and they said, what the heck, I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do that. But on this car had these pieces here that went underneath the door for the molding to go on. And these pieces we didn't have one actually. This one is pretty well trash. It's pretty well trash. It could be fixed obviously, or taking a pattern off it to make one. So I'd have to make one to keep just the door pod. I'd have to make two of these. On the back here, I have some issues with the door. I have some holes in the door there. They're all along there. I'd have to weld up the bottom of the door. I'd have to do what I said, make two of those, weld up the bottom of the door. I'd have a piece coming along here that you would see, because basically I'm going to leave this car in bare metal for a while. I just want to leave it in bare metal. Never had a bare metal car before. And basically that's what I'd have to do. I have to do it, but do both sides. So what I'm thinking is, when I put the fadeaway on, if we come back over to the other side, when I put the fadeaway on, I bring it back far enough that I got rid of most of the holes. So now it's welded on here. Did not have to weld up the bottom of the door. Now I'm going to weld in from the bottom of this in over to the bottom of the sill. I'll make a piece there. That'll be all closed off. There'll be nothing getting in there. I have to weld this little bit here. And the reason I went with this shape here on the end is because, and only because, most everybody takes their fadeaways and goes right down to the back fender. Didn't want to do it because that's basically the way everybody does it. I wanted to take it down and end it just before the back fender. Why? I'm not sure, but that's what it was telling me to do, or that's what I proceeded to do. It covered up most of the holes. I made it long enough on this side. When it comes to the other side, that I will cover most of the holes on the door. I'll just have a little piece I'll have to weld in here, and that's fine because I got what I want. I like the shape that's going on here. I like that. And I think that it'll be just a little bit different than everybody else's fadeaway. That's the only reason I did that. I could have brought it back further, yes, and put it right onto the back fender. Back fenders are not welded on. Someone said, man, your fenders are in good shape on the back. Well, they could be. Haven't stripped them yet. And all that is chrome paint. I just kind of paint chrome on them to give me that nice look. On the front fender, I took it outside and I sandblasted it. I give her my sandblaster. I give her heck. I had to fix up a few places. I still got to fix a few places. But now I got the hood stripped. I got the front piece sandblasted. There was a few repairs on that, which I don't mind. Got that sandblasted. Basically, all I'm doing is stripping it down, just stripping it down, trying to get it clean. Got the hood stripped, I think I've already said that. I got some welding left to do, but let's go for the fadeaway. And what it is a hood that I've had out there for a long time, and I've decided that I'll bring it in. I'll make some fadeaways out of them. I didn't know if they would fit, and they did not fit, but I made them fit. And you can do the exact same thing I'm doing. And I'm doing what I always do. I'm using what I have. I'm not going anywhere and buying anything. A sheet of metal would probably cost me $200 to $300 to make a couple of those. So basically what is going on is I had them outside in the junk pile for free, and I use them. I'm just going to take it easy today, and I'm going to play it Canadian, not Russian. Jolene looks amazing today, as always. She looks amazing. The first thing that I did, I'm going to show you right at the present moment. I cut the side panel off the hood. I'm going to cut the side panel off the hood, and I keep those. I just throw them back out in the pile in case there's something that I need. Let's take and flip them over for a second. Good. I'm going to cut the inside brace out right at the present second. We'll cut that out. Get an extension cord. So the fadeaways are something that I decided on. Like I said, I like it that way. I enjoy it that way. I enjoy it both ways, actually. The fadeaways I decided on because the amount of work that I'd have to do, and it got rid of that bottom seam on that back door, which I like because it takes away from the four-door scene of it quite a bit. It does. Want to see if I was doing the right thing. Spot welds. Been fun. I've been running around the yard and looking for lights, tail lights, and all that sort of stuff. And I will go through that with you when it comes time for me to go for it. But I've got all that stuff to do, and that's the fun part of doing a custom like this, or cutting your car apart and going for it, is that you can do anything you want to, and all the pieces that I have outside, I'm able to go pick them up, look at them, try them on the car, whether I like it or not. And that's basically how my cars go. I don't set no plan and say I need this, and I need this, and I want this, and I want that. I don't do that. I just go with what I have. And the cars turn out the way they turn out from the things that I have. So, in my brain, it was meant to be. So, I'm not going to use that body line there, so I cut it right off, and that's the top piece that goes on the side. So basically, I weighed out all my stuff, and I said, this is the way I'm going to go. I weighed out all the work, and this is it. On the other side, when I got it put on and I got it stripped off, I noticed I had a couple dents. So this time, I'm a-checking. So we'll keep that side panel. That side panel could be used for something else. The molding could be used for something else if somebody, if you had interest. But we will not throw it away. I've got a couple little dents here I see I'm going to try to take out first. You can see it from the inside there. Just going to hold it down there. Not bad. One beside it. Alrighty, as you can see, I'm done. No. This goes on like that. So basically that's what I used, and that's what I did. I had to do some scribing on the back piece. I used, excuse me, Jolene, my beautiful lady. I used this bad boy here. I think this was sent into by a fan. I put it on there. It gave me the exact shape of that there, but it was hard to apply it to that, so I used this at first, and then I decided to, so that's basically the shape. Look, I didn't even do that again. It basically even shows that the door is kicked out. It's got that much ability to show every little movement, I guess. So, put that back on there again. Put it on the bottom of the sill. That'll basically show my shape. So I did trace that off on this, but I had to keep cutting it to get it where I want. So what I'm going to do, where I have the other one on the other side, there would be no sense in me trying to do it all over again with that and keep plunking it on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of Bristol board and I'm going to go to the other side. That's the piece of Bristol board I'm going to use. I'm going to go to the other side to get the shape to cut off this end. I'm also going to take a tape measure and measure it because I'm thinking that the hood is exactly the same. I'd like to get them on the same if possible. So in order to do that, I must measure the other side to figure out what I'm doing and where I'm going. On this side, I used my level to make sure I get something going right here. So that gets running right with this part here. But when I put it on, I made sure that I had this. I wanted this. I didn't want straight down. I wanted a little bit of highness to it. It's always better to have a little bit of contour to your stuff. I'm having an issue with, I'm not saying having an issue. Down here, it's not quite, there's a little bit of a distance in there. And because this pod goes back in towards the door, and the hood's straight, so it's actually not, it's giving me quite a distance in here. If I had to fill it out, it would be quite a bit of a filler. So what I'm thinking is there's a connection down the bottom down here, or I might cut it and pull it out and butt weld it, but I'm just not there yet in the brain what I want to do with it yet, because this piece is bolted on, and I want to make sure that I do the right thing, basically. So, and sometimes to do the right thing, you should take your time. So let's do a measurement first and mark it down. So we'll go right from, this is the hood, right to the point of the hood. I'm going to put it on there. I'm going to 43 1/8. We'll do it. 43 1/8. Let's do it one more time. One more time. I just want to make it sure. 43 1/8. Long. Oh, I've got a shirt on today. Hetherington, what does it say? Hetherington Therapy. This is one of the guys from Florida that sponsored one of the young fellers. The shirt got overlooked, so I'm wearing it today, if you don't mind. Joe Sosa did the other young feller, and I probably am going to do it again, maybe soon on this car. We'll do something. I'm going to grab just a couple young fellas. Joe Wagner from Digby. He also sponsored a young person, so we're going to try to get a couple young people in here and maybe can do something to the car, and I can give them more hands-on with less people. So all I'm going to do here is I'm going to put this, I always go with a straight edge. I always go with a straight edge. So the straight edge is on the bottom. What I'm going to try to do is, I'm going to pull this over a little bit. I'm going to, got a straight edge on the bottom with my hand. I'm going to take my finger. I'm going to find that shape. There it is. There it is. Oh, there's the dirty fingers come in handy. The dirty fingers. Okay. Make it a little bit long. There. So I'm saying that's the shape in the back. I like that shape. Got to put a piece of metal over top of that. Got a little bit of door rot going on there, but I got to weld that to there shut and put a nice little piece on there just to finish it off. Alrighty. I got quite a mess going on here. I'm just going to take a broom for a second, see where I'm taking her cool today. I'll get done as much as I can in the amount of time and then go from there. That's all I can do. The other times rushing on the back there probably wasn't the best thing, you know, not the best thing to do. It's just not something that you should do on something that you're making, is to rush to get, it's not an issue to rush. I'm just going to slow down just a bit. I bring the indoors, or the outdoors inside. Just want to move it for a minute. We'll just sweep it right underneath there for a minute. It's in there in a nice little pile. That's okay. What's that, sweetheart? Just touch me, boys. Nah, I love it. Joey's fixing the sound for everybody. Alrighty. Sharp. Let's do the tape measure thing. Let's do the scissor thing. Get this cut. Doing something like this never hurts to make it a little bit long. The reason being is because you can take it back off and mess with it. What a nice shape, eh? Reminds me of Jolene. Alrighty. Tape measure. Right on the end. Three and an eighth. Stop it. Straight edge on the bottom. Bless you, sweetheart. Doesn't matter if it's a little bit long. The reason being is because I can always shave it off a little bit. Beautiful, just like Jolene. Beautiful, just like Jolene. Alrighty. Yesterday, I had to find that shape by putting it off and on, off and on, off and on, off and on. Didn't I, baby? I did so. Had to put it off and on, off and on, off and on. Zip cut. I cut on the center here. I had a bunch of rivets, and I have a shape or a distance here, so I just went along there and cut that all off, which I'm going to do right at the present moment. Do the exact same thing as I did the first time. So, I left the 90 on the bottom because it still gives me a nice broke edge on the bottom, because when this goes on, let's think about it now. When this goes on, this is going to be welded up here, and the bottom is on. I'm going to put it on the bottom of this. That's how I know the distance, how high I went up. I just put that edge on the bottom of that, and then when the rest comes up to the front, not on the front door, I'm not going to be able to, but all this back here, I'll be able to weld along here, and from the square piece of here, I'll be able to weld from there to here, and that will close that all off. When I'll cut the doors open, when I cut it in half and bring the door open, then I can cap this in. Then we realize that nothing can get in here. If it come in from the inside, okay, it can come out the bottom of the door. And that means we'll put a drain hole in the bottom of it, just like they put a drain hole in the bottom of the sill. We still want to get the car down the ass end a little bit to make it look a little better, but right now we are customizing and having fun. Having fun. That's basically what this is. And I'm thinking that it all started from somebody's car was rusty, and they did something to fix it, and they customized it right at the same time. Basically is what I'm saying. And that's just my belly button, because it's my opinion. And the people that just wanted the pods, I'm sorry, I like the pods too. But all this, welding this all up and putting a piece up here and leaving that all patched up, like a piece from here up to here, patched up and ground off and welded on there, it didn't appeal to me as nice as having it cover it over and being dealt with. Alrighty. Check the seam over a little bit. Alrighty. Let's cut that off. Gonna leave the line because I can always trim some off with the sander wheel after and make it real nice. Cut this lip off. There's a lip down here. I'm going to cut that off. This build here that I'm doing is one that you can be real happy with, and then what I mean by real happy with is the money situation, not spend a bunch of money on this car, and I am making it look desirable to some. To some, that is, not all, just to some. Alrighty. Now, we have a piece, it's going to go on here, and I thought of something after I started this. Nice. See, this piece here, there's a 90 right there at the bottom. That's going right underneath that. So it gives me my height. Just like that. That goes in like that. I'm going to measure the other side and put a pair of pliers on that. Got to measure the other side to find out what's going on. Basically. The first one, it was hard for me to weld that on, the very first one, because I enjoyed looking at it on the other side and liking it. I really did. But in the end, I outweighed it with the amount of work. 3 inch. hard for me to, just want to measure where it goes to. I had the fender off when I did this one, so I could have measured to the front of the door. Now I can't do that because the fender's on. Okay, we'll go here and just see how far we are in front of the hole. We're 3.5 in front of the hole. 3.5 in front of the hole. So I'm going to mark this on this side. Now, it's one thing after another. I have to take this off. Flathead screwdriver. Awesome. Awesome. Probably could have done that in the first place, started biting that all up. What's going on there? Got a bolt in it or what? Oh, just scratch. No, it didn't scratch it. Got a bolt in there, I think. Come on off. All right. Do you remember that measurements we had? Was it 3 inch? I gotta go check it. After cutting that bolt, I lost my brain. 3.5. And a 3 inch. So I'm going to clean that off. You can also see, if we want to go back to the other side, when I start putting that on there, that is not exactly straight. You can see this line here. Smaller, 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 smaller to getting bigger. So it's got a nice shape going on it this way. So that's something that has to be dealt with on this side, and it takes a little bit, so I'm just preparing you. I want to put this on, and I want to see how it's fitting. Put there. Not bad. I'm just going to straighten this out a little bit. I did not cut the line on this one. I left the line on there. So what I'm doing now is I'm buffing the line off because it seemed to fit fairly well. Now I'm going to buff the line off to get my true read. Also, if you look at the other side, I've seen the other side a couple times. If you look at the other side, you can see how nice that I got that cleaned up, and that's quite something for that, for sitting outside for 80 years or how many years it is taken. So we were covering the holes. Basically, that's how far I brought it back, and it made me kind of decide how I want to go about that, how I wanted to cut it off early. So it's not like any other fades. Most fades go all the way back to the fenders. And I have a car with fades on it. It's called Away to Heaven. I had that car for a lot of years now. It was a 4-door. I acquired it for $200 from a friend, Hub Levy. $200, a 1939 7-window sedan, exact same as this. And I made a 3-window or 4-window, I'm not sure if they got 2 windows in the back or 3. I made a 3-window coupe out of it, and I made a bow tail out of it because it is my first time doing it. And I found some round stock in the yard, and I end up making myself a bow tail coupe. And I won a few awards with it, got into a couple magazines with it. It's one of my first cars, and I smashed it up a month later. I was even invited to a couple indoor shows with it, and I T-boned a car, obviously. And now that's why it's in primer. If you go through the videos, it's the car that I go up the road doing the one-wheel burn there. I did it 3 or 4 gears there, and that car has been a lot of fun for me. And what am I going to do here now? I'm going to stick this on, get talking, and lose my brain. It was a 4-door car, and I had fun with that car other than smashing it up, you know. And when I smashed it up, I got my insurance money from it. Maybe told the story about the chrome bumper on that, but anyways, I got my insurance money from it. And it allowed me to travel to Gene Winfield's for the very first time or second time. So the word Away to Heaven would be a good word for it, because basically that's where, you know, I got the inkling that not worried about the door handles. They're not that great, so I don't really care. But that's where I got the inkling to customize a car. It was from Gene, 2008. And so happy I did. I'm going to lock on one end of this bad boy. So. Where do I want to lock it on first, I wonder? Suppose I could take the welder and lock it on there first. See that behind the back? Baby's seen it. It's not coming up far enough for me. I'm going to bend that down a little bit. Bend this down a little bit. Basically what I want it to do, so I want to make sure it comes up tight. Tight is right, people, tight is right. So what I want to make sure that it does, I want to make sure that comes up tight. Put it back to the line. Shaking a little bit, just try to make it move. It's not forever. It's just to hold it, see what I got. Good. Alrighty. Now you can see when I push that over, what's got to be done. There's a lot of scribing that's got to go on. Just gonna leave that there. Everything's holding in place. It's fitting good there. I want to hit that for a second, just make sure it's up all the way. I want it to be up all the way. Just gonna hit it again with the welder. Make sure it don't fall off. It didn't go on the other spot weld that I did. I went beside it. That way there, I didn't. That'll be a nice, that looks nice, I think, in my opinion. And you know what my opinion is? My belly button. I'm just going to tack this on real nice here. I had the fender off the other side, and it made it a lot easier because I could take a long pair of clamps, slide it up in there, and clamp that to hold it. I don't want to take the fender off, but I will. If I have to, I will. Don't tempt me. Just kind of tacking it there. I don't know how much of a tack that was, but now it's time of the scribe situation. Looks like it could be a little bit crooked right there. I think we got a little dent going on, so I'll end up pulling that back off. You can see where it's tucked in there a little bit. So we need a lot coming out of here. Let's just scribe this first. We got a hole here. You can tell where this is straight, how the other piece went on. You got a big spot here and a big spot down there. Let's do this first. I'm going to get 2 pens going, and the reason being is, I'll get 2 pens going, I'll just go 1 marking, but the reason I'm going to do 2 pens, maybe I'll put that on the side of the, because you can see this distance here. I'm still not reaching it. You know, if I do 2 pens in the center, if I do 2 pens down here, that's pretty close, isn't it? Right? So you can see the widest distance. So I should be okay. I should be. Just to take the cover off so they sit better. I should be okay. Should be okay. Shove that in there to take that off. Let's do it again just to make sure. I mean, it's a cut that I don't want to mess up, and I'll tell you why. Because I haven't got no more hoods. I got. This is what I'm going to do. I'm saying I got quite a distance there. I come back here, I'm not hitting the hood. I could take a protractor and do the exact same thing. Take a protractor and do the exact same thing. You can see the dent in the door. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go down here and I'm going to cut it off, and I'm going to leave the line. I'm not going to cut the line, I'm going to leave the line. Both covers I threw on the ground. Being foolish. Maybe not, one right there. One back in my pocket. We'll shut the welder off. Yep, I'm going to leave the line and cut that. I'm going to take a tape measure here for a second. I guess it does not matter a whole lot, but it'd be nice to get it close to the other side. Can't see both sides at the same time. at the door. It'd be 19 at the front. At the door. 18 1/4. How you doing? It's Harold. It's our contractor. He's more than welcome to come in the back door. I'm going to cut a line, I guess. I'm going to go for it. See what happens. Rafters are all except 2. Looking good, man. Looks really good. I'm going to get a zip cut. Got one right there. Putting a fadeaway on a car is almost like putting a set of kitchen cupboards in a boat. Just going to try to make it fit. Oh. Won't stop raining, Harold.
No. Been some good downpours today.
Did Brady tell you he tried the one chip? I knew. I said, how hot is it, Brady? He said, well, put it this way. I'm going to drive home with the air conditioner on.
Stopped right at the gas station and got a liter of milk.
Did he?
Drank the whole thing.
Oh, is it?
He said he never had anything and stuff. He likes hot stuff.
Oh,
He said he's never had anything that when it hit the bottom of his stomach, that's when it really got hot.
Well, we videotaped it,
yeah.
And the young fella, he never said a word. Tears just kept coming out of his eyes, and he kept pulling his shirt up, wiping his shirt, and tears out of his eyes. All I know that Jolene told me not to do it, so I said, okay. You can tell right away, if you want to come take a look, Jolene, how much nicer it fits. You can tell right away. You can see the same distance all the way along. So now when I push it in, look at that, would you? Yabba dabba doo. Yabba dabba doo. Now the problem is, how much further away from there? That's good with that. But this has got to come down. So. My pen's in my pocket. You want to go outside, Fina? I'll let you, sweetheart. So I think the rest of all of it fits good, but the front I got to get tucked down. She's going to want to come back in a hurry, I know that, because it's barreling out. So I just got to, that fits really good. Should have had Aiden spot weld that. It would never fell off. Aiden's back in school. From what I understand, he'd like to be playing with cars. But schoolwork's a little more important sometimes, I guess. Alrighty. Just going to cut a little bit at a time, I guess. That's all I can do. If I don't, I'll end up doing something wrong. I knew it. I knew it. What you find out there? Some wet water? Huh? So basically this is all fitting nice here. Just going to tuck that front down to get that, because it's got a nice straight thing going on. I'm going to hold that and do it again. Until I can get that down on top of that. Not like that, I won't.
See you later.
See you later, Harold. Have a great day.
Yep.
Get your golfing in today? Did good?
No golf today.
Cool. I gotta change the disc. No golfing today. And we'll put the sucker on. Harold, give me thumbs up on the fades. That's good. He likes it. That's awesome. It's always good somebody likes it. Getting there. Tina probably doesn't like the noise. I can't say as I blame her. There we go. So if you see that there, might have to come down a little bit there, but you can see how I've got that folded down in there. I got a little bit high going on here, so I'm going to mark it. And then play with it. Ah. It's a delicate process, but here we go. So I'm just going to tack it on there, just for, you know, shits and giggles. Shits and giggles. I didn't have to take the fender off, or obviously didn't have to take the fender off. You would have seen me take it off. But on the other side, it was nice to have it off. And where am I going to tack that? Right there. Come on. Now basically, I might have to come off that a little bit. So basically what I'm wanting was what I'm going to play with full time, is the shape of it. Now you can see, to me I can see, I'm up high here a little bit still. I'm up high here a little bit still, some got to be cut off. And that's when I keep taking it off, putting it back on, taking it off, putting it back on, taking it off, putting it back on. Basically that's what goes on there. I don't know if I have to take you through that process or not, but I'm going to I'll just knock that off. You can see where I got it there now. Mark it again. I'll mark it again. I got a little bit of gap going on there, a little bit of gap going on there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, see what I mean by gap there? See the little gap there? There's a little gap up there, so I will end up taking the marker, taking some off right there to get that down. And in the end, I'm going to take the level and lay it on top of this and make sure that I'm running nice, basically. And that's how I am doing the fadeaways. And it takes a little bit of time to get it go all the way down. I see down here, I'm going to want this here pulled up a little bit. So when I let it free, I'll make sure that I pull that up a little bit. And when you do something like this, it's full time, like back and forth, 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 until you get it looking the way you want it to look. Then when we do that down the bottom, then we add a piece on the bottom where we got it missing here. I thought about adding a leg pipe or something like that. And something that I'd want to put down there I'd have to buy. Just kind of forgot about it. Jolene said fill the hole in. You know, in order to fill that hole, or we have to buy a nice chrome leg pipe or something, you want something nice in there. So I just filled it in with a piece of metal and it looks just as fine. We'll weld that up to get it looking right. And I will not, and I'll keep playing with it until I get it more or less the same shape. I can do a few measurements, get it as close as possible. And that's how I put on the fadeaways. The first one was the hardest because I didn't know if I wanted to or not. I didn't know if I wanted to tack it to the door or tack it to the back. And usually I'm pretty quick at it, I'll go for it, but I really enjoyed the car the way it looked. But I'm liking the way it looks now. So I'm happy that I did. I got rid of some work. I also am showing some more custom work on it. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep messing with this one over here, get it cleaned off like that one over there, and add my piece of metal to the bottom, and I'll have the fadeaways on this side. So that's how I did it, and that's how I'm doing it. Did not have to take the fender off. That's a fantastic thing. On the fenders on the front of this car, they're not the fenders. If you want to come take a look. So you know what I'm going to do with the fadeaway. I'm just going to keep pulling it off, adjusting it, sanding it a little bit at a time. You can see this piece here is way in there and does not fit. This fender here has got a piece that goes way down there. That's not going to fit on that fender. Does not fit. Does not fit. You know what you have to do? You have to equip. So I'm not sure what the fenders are off. They fit the car, obviously, but they're not fitting the exact same ear or the exact same grill. These might have come off a Chev or might have come off of something else, but this is a Pontiac. I'm saying there's a little bit of difference in the grill and stuff. Maybe that's why it's not exactly fitting. So I'm going to mess with that this afternoon. I want to thank everybody for coming back and watching and you know, paying attention to what's going on with this build, because it's kind of a fun thing. This car right here, this is something like, you know, something anybody can do if you want to go for it and get, you know, your credit due for being able to build a custom car. Like this is a 4-door car and we're making it into a 2-door or 3-window coupe. And if you can picture it with it all sanded and all painted and all done the body fill on it, you really could have a lot of fun at a custom car show with it. And think about the money. I did not go out and spend a bunch of money. Did not. We've taken a little bit of money and bought this car. It runs and drives. It's got radial tires on it. I'm noticing something right now. It's got radial tires on it. We're having fun with it. We had a couple young people in to play with it. They had fun with it. Had a couple older people come in and play with it. They had fun with it. Or they seemed to have fun. We had fun that weekend. Everybody got to chop and hack and do what they wanted to do. So that's what I call fun. But I'm going to do something here for a second. On this car, he had a problem cleaning the white walls. And I'm going to clean that white wall here before we take off. If you're having an issue with your white walls, I use spray 9. That's what I use. You can watch, let's watch the mud fly off. Watch how dirty it gets really quick. Look how dirty that is. Oh, it's running off. Who's your daddy? Huh? But it's nice to get it while it's wet, that Armor All, or that, not Armor All, that spray 9. Just take out something. You probably wish I did the dishes this way, don't you? Probably. I should have got a rag so I could wipe that off. Damn it. This might be dry when I get back. Just run. Run, Chad, run! Damn it. Still wet? Look at that. Getting dirty from the wheels. I clean them up. It's nice to have the stuff wet when you go to wipe it off. But anyways, you get the point. You get the point. You can see the stuff running off them still. Anyways, if you want to clean your white walls, spray 9, you've seen it run off for yourself. You see how clean they get. And it's nice to wipe them off when the spray 9 is wet. But anyways, I could do that a couple times. Really make them shine. You even clean your whole tire before you do it. Make it look real nice. What do you think, baby? All right, everybody, thanks for coming back. We appreciate it. We're putting fades on her. And as you can see, if you want to come back this way, sweetheart, we've got a nice shape going on from scribing them and putting them on. Still got to scribe some more. I got to take the wire, the drill, and the stripper wheel to clean off the rust and stuff, and then we'll make it look like the other side. Put the piece in. Alrighty, thanks very much. Ring my bell, comment, share, like. What else? Subscribe. And Jolene looks fantastic today. Have a good one. See y'all tomorrow.